All right, good evening and welcome back to Drinking with Jake. On this next segment of Drinking with Jake, we're talking about beer, which is
Beer.
which is a famous pastime of people in Wisconsin,
Oh, I love
and
beer.
and I do too. And I got to think that in Wisconsin, if people don't know about anything from Wisconsin other than the whole stereotypical cheese and whatever, but beer is right up there, and beer is not just to drink in Wisconsin. It's part of our culture. It's not a bad thing, and I would say I don't know if I were a betting man, I'd say 70 to 80%, if not more, percent of people or households in Wisconsin just have beer in their fridge at all times, and that's
Sure.
just how it is, and it's just part of our culture. It's ingrained. Get it? Ingrained in our. Thank you. Thank
Oh,
you. It's
nicely
ingrained.
done.
Thank you. It's ingrained in our culture, but we had so many immigrants from Germany and other parts of the world from that were famous for making beer come over and made beer here. So in Wisconsin, beer is just as important as I don't know, bourbon is to Kentucky, or
Air is to breathe,
air is to breathe. I'm just trying to think of some other things of what
water to fish.
water to fish, what other people are really passionate about in their own home states. But beer is
Painters
part,
to the Irish.
yeah, and it's just beer is part of our culture, and we cook with it, we drink it. It's a social thing.
Yeah.
We have beer houses, beer gardens, we have bars, um,
Brewery tours.
brewery tours. You can drink at breweries, and as a matter of fact, and I'll move on from this too, but we have music festivals like community music festivals like in the city that Michael and I live in, where people just bring a six pack of beer and they just sit, lay the blanket down, sit on their blanket and drink a six pack of beer with their friends and pass the beer along to other people, and they share and swap beer, and that's just it's almost like if you didn't know you were in Wisconsin at that time, you'd think that you were in some European country, you
Alcoholic
know,
Mecca.
alcoholic mecca, absolutely. And just a quick story: we had a relative of ours come. This is a couple years ago, and they live in California, and they've never been here before, and because they're distant cousins, and they came here to visit, and we went to like a music night here right in town, and we brought the lawn chairs and all that, and they were looking around like this, like, oh my gosh, what's happening? And I said, well, what's going on? What's wrong? They said, there's people drinking here. Is that allowed? I said, well, yeah, isn't it allowed everywhere else? Like, oh no, you can't do it where they're from, blah.
Nope.
And I said, well, sure, there's people drinking wine and there's people drinking beer. They're bringing coolers. And I don't know. I just assumed that that's just what everybody did. They said, oh no, I thought this was going to be a big bad thing. Like, no. And then people left, and went home. So
Yeah,
it just a different culture. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
it most certainly is. It
That's what I'm
most
trying.
certainly is. Um, when I moved here, it was not. I had no idea. I mean, I like beer, but I didn't know the amount that people drank here. It was crazy to me. I would have a 12 pack in my refrigerator for months. You
Hmm.
know, now just because of people coming and going, or of course my own consumption as well. But uh, it doesn't last. A 24 pack doesn't last that long.
Right.
People come to my house and they bring their own beer and
Right.
then leave it here for the next time they come, or for me to enjoy, or
Guilty.
you're right. Yeah, my wife will say, "Whose beer is this?" It's not mine. I don't drink those. Oh, I said that must be Jake's, or it must be someone, it must be this guy's or that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, uh, yeah, it's definitely not the way that it wasn't in my culture growing up.
Sure.
Sure, Dad drank beer, but it wasn't. He didn't drink beer like Wisconsinites drink beer, or even. I mean, sailors don't drink as much beer as Wisconsinites drink.
True. Very true. Yeah. Well, the reason why I left it at your house is it gave me an excuse to come back. Like, hey, Michael, didn't I leave my six
Did
pack of
I think I think I
Oso
left
there?
a Oh,
Yeah.
it's not there anymore. Oh, well, I'll just bring something else over.
Yeah. And then when we would plan a little barbecue at your house, like, well, okay, Michael should have three left of mine, so that means I should bring at least three more for, and then, well, Michael, I don't know if Michael had this one yet, so I'll bring some over and we can sample, and that's what we used to
And
do.
who
So
else is coming?
yeah,
Oh, B-Rye's coming over, so I'll
yeah,
have
be
to
right.
bring another 6. And
Yeah, yeah.
then
Because it's a big faux pas to drink somebody else's stash, I guess, for lack
sure,
of a better term. I think it's rude. So you want to bring some to at least replace and replenish the stuff that you drank of your
right.
buddies. And plus, you never want to leave a lesser quality beer at a friend's house than what they gave you. Like, let's say Michael, I drank all of Michael's New Glarus, which I alone would probably disown me as a friend.
No,
And then,
no.
and then if I left something like Coors Light with him,
Yes,
that would be rude. That would
yes,
be
that
rude,
would be rude
and
because
you just don't do that here in Wisconsin.
not knocking the people that like Coors Light,
Nope, I'm not saying that.
not knocking them,
But you
but
just
I
don't
don't
drink
care
a
for it.
guy's favorite beer and leave him stuff that is not
Well, you
his.
don't want to drink his last one.
Oh, yeah, you don't
That's
want to do that.
I have no problem sharing anything that I drink, uh, be it soda, water, beer, whiskey, whatever. I don't care. You want to drink it, have it, have at it. I don't care. Uh, but I will not go over to somebody's house and drink their last one. You
Oh,
know, unless they offer it, and I'm like, even then, are you sure? Yeah, I'll take it. Are you sure? I give them 3 chances.
well, but then if it usually comes that like, oh, Michael's on his last beer, well, we better make a beer run
Right,
because
that's true.
we,
Somebody,
somebody messed
somebody,
up
because
somewhere.
somebody screwed up. There was, piss poor planning.
Yes,
Uh, what is it? Prior planning prevents piss poor performance.
that's right.
Uh,
Yes.
so
Right. So and the cool thing is where you live, Michael. I'm not going to tell everybody where you live, but
I
where
appreciate that.
where you live, you're very welcome.
All
Where
right,
you
thanks.
live, just down the street, you have a
Yes,
liquor store, walking distance, my friend.
we do. However, that liquor store,
I know.
I've
I know.
been there a couple times. Both
I know.
times, the
I know.
guy's weird.
Yep.
I
I
don't
know.
want to knock the guy, but I do because he's not a very nice person. He's not a very good businessman. The owner, the liquor store's open weird hours. Um, if I owned it, which I've thought about going up and saying, "Look, I'll buy you out. How much?"
Yeah.
But I don't have that money anyway.
Yep.
But if I were, I would open it up at 9 o'clock or whenever you can legally sell, and I wouldn't
Hmm.
close it until 9 o'clock at night when you
Yep.
can legally sell.
Yep.
Uh, and then have it closed on Sundays for crying out loud. If that's what you want to do.
Maybe a goal for us in our life, it would be Mike and Jake's liquor store,
Oh,
and we would do our show in the liquor store, have people come over. We would do taste testing while we're doing the show, while the store is open. I cannot think of a better way to live my life. Yeah,
I will drink to that.
I will drink to that, my friend. So if anybody owns a liquor store,
And they're willing to sell it cheap with all stock included.
to a couple of guys that are
Have never owned a
decent,
business.
has never owned a business before, or if you do own a liquor store and you want us to come by to do a show
Oh, that'd be
to
great.
promote your business, we are all for it. I would assume you'd be on board
Oh,
with that, Michael.
yeah.
Yeah, tell me where and when.
Just why aren't we there right now?
Right. So think about that, everybody. And
If you know
anyway,
somebody, let us know.
that's right. If you see something, say something.
Yeah. See something, say something.
All right, Michael. Now that I've rambled on way too long, you're going to give a special demonstration of the spotted cow.
So here I have an empty glass. We were kind of discussing what kind of glass this is. I'm not sure. I always thought this was a Pilsner, but I don't know. It just sounds cool to say it that way. I know it's not a Stein, but let me know in the comments what kind of glass this is. It's also a very small one, but I don't care. So, and then of course, here's my New Glarus Spotted Cow. Don't shame me for not pouring it the way you're supposed to, please. But this is just a demonstration of the color and whatever this is.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Delicious.
So that is, you can see it's not clear. It's clear-ish, but there is a cloudiness to it, and that's by design. And you know, it's a lager, but it's delicious. And I think
Yeah.
I think there's some kind of citrus notes in it, so it kind of has some fruit in it, which means it's delicious too and nutritious.
Well, it is nutritious, and I think the more you drink, the more nutritious, and the more you'll feel better. How you'll feel better. Now,
Nothing hurts when I drink.
no, and I tell you, check out New Glitter. It says all of their styles, all of their beers, but Spotted Cow is their bread and butter.
Yes.
And there's like, was it Half Moon, naked
ladies.
naked
No,
lady, two ladies, naked something, Fat Squirrel.
That's the one I was thinking of.
That's kind of a heavier
they do
one.
have a Cabin Fever that only comes out in February-ish.
Yep, like a naked something, but oh man.
Yeah, there was. I looked to see how much it would cost and to schedule a brewery tour of the New Glarus facilities. They're booked out for like 3 years.
Yeah.
But let's hear about this beer that you are drinking, sir.
Thank you, sir. So I was at Woodman's the other day, and I was just perusing the beer aisle, and I came across Summit Dakota Soul Craft Lager.
Okay.
Now Summit is made in. I'm sorry.
Craft lager, right?
Craft lager. Yep.
Craft,
I'm sorry.
not crap. Craft.
Did I say crap?
No, but it sounded kind of like crap. I just wanted to clear everybody up. It's not beer made from poop.
Well, thank you for clearing up the crap comment.
The crap. Yeah. Let's get on with this crap.
All right. Let's move on with this crap. Clear comment. Comment. Clear crap.
Craptastic.
So Summit Brewing Company is brewed in St. Paul, Minnesota. And I saw this Dakota Soul because it has barley from Rugby, North Dakota. It's made from the barley that is grown in Rugby, North Dakota.
Okay.
Quick funny story about Rugby, North Dakota. I used to live in North Dakota for a while. And
I remember.
When I lived in North Dakota, I was working up there. And I heard of this town called Rugby. And I don't want to offend anybody, but it's North Dakota. And Rugby is in that place of North Dakota. I thought it was going to be buck teeth and elongated foreheads and kind of the whole Flatlander people coming to get you. But boy, was I wrong. I was driving through, heard about Rugby, pulled in, and I had lunch there at some diner. I forget what it was, but it was on Main Street where you took I'm just kind of going through the directions in my, where you turn right, turn left, and it's this little mom and pop diner. I walked in. I don't even think they had Visa cards. I think you have to pay cash or check. So luckily I had cash. Nicest people in the world. Nice. And that's how I remembered Rugby when I read the label about Rugby, North Dakota. And I'm sure I had burger and fries and that was it. Nice people, whatever. So that changed my whole stereotypical thought of elongated foreheads, buck teeth, and the Flatlanders were going to come and get you and never to be seen again. So so that's step one. So that's barley made from Rugby, North Dakota. Keep it local.
Keeping it local.
Keep helping out the local farmers. Now, number two, people may think that this is a traditional can opener, but in Wisconsin, we call it a church key.
Right.
Maybe you've heard of it as a church key, maybe you haven't. But if anybody in Wisconsin, you go to somebody's house and they say, hey, man, where's a church key at? This is what they're referring to.
Mm-hmm.
It's a can opener, but church key. So,
now,
go ahead, Michael.
Do you know why it's called a church key?
Don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Grew up with it that way. It's just called a church key. So I'm going to open it up. Nice little sizzle, nice little fizzle. Smell it. Definitely smell the barley. Holy cow. Good taste. I will have that.
Is that an IPA or is it a lager or do you know?
It just says that it is a Midwest style craft lager.
Okay. Oh, so okay, it's a lager.
It's just a
Good.
lager. Yep,
I
for
am
sure.
not a fan of IPAs. I know you like them, and a lot of
Yep,
our friends like
yep.
them. I am not a fan. I do not like too much hops. And to me, wow, suck that down. Chug, chug, chug. Look at that.
That's good stuff.
Uh, to me, uh, drinking an IPA, it's like, I don't know, it's just so bitter. It just does not, to me, it doesn't taste good.
It
So I'm
is.
a lager fan. I also
Sure.
like the darker beers. Do not like IPAs, and I don't like sours either. But
When you say sour, what do you mean by sour?
it's a sour beer. Um, it's like Sour Patch Kids, like a sour
Oh,
candy.
okay.
It's
Okay.
a sour beer. It's one of our I went out to a restaurant around here, and they you can sample a bunch of beers, and one of them was I said I've never had a sour before. Yeah, it's sour. It
Mm,
puckers
yeah.
like biting into a lemon almost.
Oh, yeah.
So on a sidebar though, or it's not a sidebar, it's a different. So this is a bottle opener. This is what we call a bottle opener, and it's also got a little thing for cans if your fingers aren't strong enough to open the cans.
Sure.
But ironically, it's on car keys. So, you know, I guess that way you always have one because, but really, should you have a bottle opener on your car keys? I don't know. Uh, but I don't know what to do with my hands. But you don't always have a church key with you.
Right.
So, yeah, especially when you go camping, you don't always necessarily have a church key.
Right.
But that's just a little digression. I thought, the
I like your
educational
digressions.
the educational section of our viewership or so uh, needs to
Very
know these
smooth.
words. Good. I'm gonna have one of those eventually.
Very
That sounds good.
well. I have some in my house. I bought a sixer of it, and oh, I'm sorry. If anybody's not familiar, a sixer is a six pack.
It's a six pack.
Sorry. So
Yeah.
I bought a sixer of it. So I'll try to save you some, but if not,
Ah,
I know where to get them.
yeah. It's not like we live that far apart that I can't travel over to the grocery store that you go to.
Right.
Um,
Right. Right.
it's not miles and miles. Well, I guess it is miles and miles, like two. But
Right.
yeah. So yeah, well, I will definitely have to try that.
It's not bad. It's good. It's a clean beer. Not as good as New Glarus because that is like the pinnacle.
It
Of,
is. It's not the summit, but it's pretty close.
boom goes the dynamite. Well done, played. Well played. Well done. So yeah, that's the summit. It's really good. We've talked a lot about New Glarus tonight. We've talked about Summit Beer, which is made in St. Paul, Minnesota, which is just right across the river from Wisconsin. We've talked about Clyde Mays and Michael's traditional. Always see it with him is the Jameson and Diet Dr Pepper
Oh,
drink in a tall cooler
yeah,
glass. I always
giganto glass that.
yeah, like yeah. What is Michael drinking? Well, I'll make him one myself because I know he's drinking. So
You
I
mix anything with Dr. Pepper, it's not bad. It
no.
really isn't. I've had that. It's not Fireball, but it's another cinnamon whiskey. My sister-in-law left it for us. Didn't want to take it home, or she forgot it, or something like that. And I said, "Oh, this is here. Do you want me to bring it to you?" Now, granted, she lives uh, a goodly ways away,
Hmm.
an hour and a half or so away. And so
Sure.
I said, "Hey, I'll bring it to you next time we see it." She goes, "No, no, no. You go ahead and drink it." Okay, don't threaten me with a good time. So uh, I mixed some of that with Dr. Pepper, and boy, howdy, that was delicious. That cinnamon was, oh yeah, it was good. So, and then you got me some rum, uh, Devil's Cut, Captain Morgan Devil's Cut rum, and that was delicious with Dr. Pepper. I don't think there's anything that goes bad. If you like Dr. Pepper, you're gonna like liquor with Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
If you don't like Dr. Pepper, you're still gonna like liquor with Dr. Pepper because it tastes everything tastes good.
That's true. That's very true.
So
So yeah, I think next time what we'll talk about is another famous Wisconsin beer that I will bring on is Leinenkugels,
Liney's,
the Leinies,
yeah,
and
there,
yeah, and you want to talk about traditional Wisconsin beer? Leinies is really good and
yeah.
not as
Well,
good.
I've had some Liney's that I like, and I've had some Liney's that I don't. I'm not a
True.
traditional
Right.
Wisconsinite. Wasn't born here.
Yep.
Wasn't raised here. I've almost lived here as long as I've lived anywhere else, but I'm not a huge fan of Liney's. So maybe I will change that next time.
Maybe, but
Maybe.
but again, in my opinion, New Glarus is like the king of the castle, and Liney's is right up there too. They have a lot of
Hmm.
varieties, and they do a lot of good work. And um, one of the Liney's, I don't know what you call them, one of the head honchos of Liney's was a
Hmm.
Marine. So
Jacob
Was it
Jacob Leinenkugel.
Jacob Leinenkugel? I forget which one. I'd have to do some research on it. And he was a Marine, and very their roots are very tied into this area,
Yes,
and they just do a lot of good for a lot of people. So
yes they do. Yes they do. Uh,
so that's all I have for tonight, Michael. If you have anything else,
don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, please. We're a fledgling, just starting out YouTube stars, hopefully, but we cannot be that way without your sharing of the videos. Tell people about us. It's the only way we're going to get more viewerships.
that's right.
But
And
like, subscribe, and share.
thank you, Michael. Well said. And if there's anything that you want to see on this show that we want to talk about, or you'd like to bring up, or you'd like to be part of the show, please let us know, and we will definitely try to make that happen. And
As
we
best we
appreciate
can.
as best we can during these interesting times. And we appreciate your time, and we thank you so much for our viewers for giving us the feedback and letting us know what we're doing and how we're doing. And if you want to learn more about anything else of what we're doing, we would be glad to share. So please leave a comment. I always like to read the comments, and I will definitely respond to those
Down
comments.
below.
Down, yeah, here's a comment for down below.
Down below.
And thank you so much for joining us tonight with Drinking with Jake. We really appreciate it. And until next time, Michael, I want to say personally thank you to you for taking
Thank
the
you,
time
sir.
out of your. Thank you for taking the time out of the weekend, sharing us about New Glarus. You're making me thirsty. I got to make a beer run tomorrow, so I think it's New Glarus time for me as well. So I'm sure I'll have these. Well, I can't say it for sure, but I think I might have these Summit beers well polished off by tomorrow afternoon. So I'll have to get a fresh stash, and
Attaboy.
I think it's New Glarus time tomorrow. So anyway, thank you so much, everybody. Have a great night. Have a great week, and we will see you next time.
See you next time.
Thank you.